Did Real Madrid really sign Tommy Gravesen from Everton by mistake? The old adage that appearances can be deceptive rang particularly true for Everton fans' favourite Tommy Gravesen. With his wild eyes, shaven head and penchant for shaking his first on the pitch, many casual observers might have quickly labelled him as a midfield enforcer, but in truth the Danish international was much more of an artist than artisan in the centre of the park. On face value, the nickname given to him during his time at Goodison Park Mad Dog only serves to perpetuate such a reputation. However, those who watched Gravesen on a regular basis in the early noughties will recall that for all his full-blooded approach the game, tackling was not actually his forte, as those who saw him sent off for a second bookable offence just 28 minutes into David Moyes' first match in charge at Everton in 2002 while already 2-0 up will vouch for. Just it was only Fulham, the one fixture at Goodison Park the Blues are seemingly guaranteed to get 3 points from whatever the circumstances, and his teammates were able to cling on for over an hour to secure a 2-1 win. Gravesen was far more adept at dribbling his way upfield and gliding through opposition defences from deep, which some 14 years on from his surprise move to the Bernabeu makes his transfer to the Spanish Giants all the more intriguing. As Chris Sweeney writes in Mad Dog Gravesen, the last of the modern footballing Mavericks, before he was unveiled in Madrid, an eyebrow-raising theory about Thomas coursed around the football world. It was that Madrid were looking for a midfielder to act as a defensive shield in their Los Galácticos team, who all seemed to focus on scoring highlight reel-style goals. They'd lost their much-heralded deep-lying midfielder Claude Makélélé to Chelsea 18 months earlier. The small Frenchman was a pioneer. So much so that his sitting role in midfield, where he'd stop attacks by pouncing and stealing the ball then feed a pass to his team's attackers, was named in the game as the Makélélé role. In black and white, it was all the things Thomas wasn't. He had skills that had impressed all of his previous teammates. He could use both feet, dribble, take great corners and hit rocket shots. But sticking to a particular position was alien to him. He added, what began circulating around the rumor mill in fan forums was that Madrid had made a monumental mistake. They'd been coming to Everton and scouting their games, and were impressed with this bald, stocky, strong midfielder. But there were two of them, number 16 Thomas Gravesen and his partner in the middle of the park, number 26 Lee Carsley. Quite a few commentators reckoned that they'd actually got them confused and weren't sure who was who. The theory was they'd seen Carsley's defensive skills and thought that's who they were getting for their £2.6 million. They had seemingly bought a square peg for a round hole. The Liverpool ECHO ran the headline, "Bald truth is, Madrid have got the wrong man." Could the mighty Real Madrid, the world's most successful club side, really have made such a glaring error? They're probably never going to lose face by admitting so if they did, but Gravesen was decent enough for them in his 18-month stint in La Liga. He returned to the UK a shadow of his former self on the pitch. Bombed out by Celtic after just a single season, he was then taken back to Everton on a season-long loan for the 2007-08 campaign. Gravesen would make just a further 8 Premier League appearances for the Blues second time around before hanging up his boots at the relatively young age of 32. Those who witnessed his first Goodison incarnation though will remember a free-spirited player with the creative drive rather than a destroyer though. In that respect Everton's Great Dane was more of a pupil of the school of science than having a pedigree for being one of the dogs of war, despite the nickname.